Now I want to look at a different function. I want to look at the count rows function. The count rows literally counts the number of rows in a table. Now for this, I actually want to show the result in the sales territory table. So I'm going to sales territory and I'm wanting to see the number of sales per region. And so I'm going to create a new column called total transactions, and I'm going to count the number of rows in the internet sales table, but I'm hoping it'll give me a result for each row in here. So I go new column. I want to call it total transactions, maybe even total number of transactions, and equals, and shift enter. And really what I want it to do is count the number of rows in the internet sales query that match the territory key, sales territory key. And I know there's a relationship between these two tables. So I'm going to go shift enter, tab, and I'm going to tell it to count the rows. And if I go open bracket, single quote, this is not happy with me. Total number of transactions. It's not happy with me. I'm getting a little bit of red going on here and it doesn't look right. So I'm just going to put a space there. Maybe I'll just call it total transactions and count rows in the internet sales. Obviously something is not right here. It's like it's not picking up that this is actually a comment. So let me just take that away for a second and I'll come back to that. Count the rows, let me take that out, single quote, in the table, internet sales, that's it, close the bracket. So that should give me total transactions, or count the rows in the internet sales, but for each sales territory key, and I press enter. Okay, here we have a problem. Here we have a single value, 60,398 rows for every single row in here. So it's not giving me a by sales territory key, it's just giving me the total number of transactions inside the internet sales table, which is not ideal. What we have here is the row context situation. Now when you create a calculated column, it's a row iteration, which means that a result is calculated for every single row iteration, and it's called a row context is created. And when a row context is created, as it is here, any relationships or filters or things that sort of narrow down the result are deactivated and are ignored. So the relationship between the sales territory and the internet sales is not working properly. So that's where we have to actually qualify this count rows function with a related table function. The related table function returns a value from the many side of a relationship. So you have to be sitting in the one side of it. And it forces any relationship that exists, which causes a filter, to be accepted and acknowledged. So let's qualify this count rows. I'm just going to click after this open bracket, press shift enter, and I want to use related table. Related table and an extra bracket on the end. The related table function is going to ensure that the relationship between the two tables is acknowledged and that I get a count of the number of rows based on the relationship, which is by sales territory key. And so I press enter. And now I'm getting a result per row, which adds up to 60,398. So if you create a calculated column and you get the same result all the way down that column, it means that a row context exists and any relationship or filter is being ignored. And you really need to qualify whatever function you're using with a related table function, which forces a row context to appreciate and acknowledge the relationship between the two tables.